what's up, everybody? Welcome to a brand new episode of the RSL show. We're here with a full team, full staff. We're going to talk about the resume in MLS play, the Leagues Cup matchup that I think took us by surprise. We're going to be seeing a Nashville and an Inter Miami in the final on Saturday, and third place Monterrey and
Philly.
Oh, your favorite club. That's right, Alex. Your favorite club defensive all time, just complete collapse versus Miami, dude. What was that? I know you followed the game. Let's just lead with that. That's the most exciting thing happening, I would say, soccer-wise, MLS. What was everyone's takes on the Messi versus Philly?
I mean, you knew. I thought if one team was going to deny Messi a Leagues Cup final, I thought it was going to be Philadelphia, especially in Philadelphia. Just a place where they don't lose games, and then all of a sudden Messi just comes in, puts on a masterclass in Philadelphia, and I think takes back that Philly squad just a little bit. So props to Inter Miami for making it.
Yeah, and at this point you have to be wondering, is Inter Miami that good, or are teams afraid? Right? Is anyone going to figure out how to stop Messi? Is anyone going to play their game, or are they going to let Messi dictate everything? Because that's kind of what we've seen. Of all the teams they've played, no one's really stepped up outside FC Dallas, which is surprising, right? So, who's going to be the first to do it? Will it be Nashville? Script writers would hate that, so I doubt it.
Although in Nashville?
Sure, but I mean, they're pricing their fans out, right? Like, it's hard to say. That home field advantage isn't going to be the same.
Yeah, and I think what we've seen from Messi and Inter Miami, it's like playing away doesn't really, it's not a factor. Like you could argue Philadelphia Union's, it's a tough place to play. A lot of the fans were online saying that they're going to boo Messi. It doesn't matter what caliber player he is. Doesn't matter, what his history is. But clearly they went in there, and Messi shot it from how far out, dude? And it just rolled past the keeper.
Like I said, what was Andre Blake doing, right?
Former MLS goalkeeper of the year, dude. Total wreck show.
Right, because that wasn't that pretty of a goal. Let's be real. It just rolled on in, and that's kind of where I'm going back to. People are playing scared, and I hope we can all collectively pull our heads out of our asses and stop letting Miami run rampant.
I don't know. I think that's a tough ask, man. I think there's a lot of talent. I think you're really starting to see, people, I saw it on Twitter today, saying MLS isn't top 10, they're not in the top 10 leagues in the world. And you've got people coming over here, not necessarily making a mockery out of it, but it's a testament that we just can't ball with people that come from clubs like that, like Barcelona.
I think it's more of a Messi thing. I don't think it's what club they came from.
You don't think Busquets or Alba makes a difference on this squad?
I mean, they make a difference, but have they just added Busquets or Alba, they're not having this run.
It's a different story.
Yeah. What's the number of goals for Messi so far? 9?
Ridiculous.
9 goals. Yeah. So, yeah, it's the Messi show, man. A lot of people eating crow. Wayne Rooney's screenshot was obviously shared around social media. An old screenshot of Jason Kreis also saying that it wouldn't matter if you brought Messi and put him on the worst MLS club. That MLS club would still suck. I think that was back in 2014 that he had said that. So yeah, it's a weird effect, man. The talent and the magic and a little bit of the I don't know, the chosen one crap, from the soccer heaven gods are just shining their light on Messi. It's nuts, bro. The worst team in MLS is going to play Leagues Cup, a tournament that involved Liga MX, MLS, some of the best clubs, some of the best talent, some of the best keepers, best strikers, and Miami's just mopped the floor with all of their opponents. It's crazy.
Except FC Dallas, and that's the crazy part for me.
Yeah. So that final is going to be played this Saturday. We won't even pay attention to third place, but how do we think this one ends?
Oh, fairy tale ending. Miami's going to get it. Messi's first cup in North America. It's obvious, right? If Nashville wins, while I'll be happy, I'll be shocked.
The script writers have it ready for Lionel Messi. But I do want Nashville to pull through and upset Messi and Miami in the final.
Well, even if Nashville's doing some work, right, they're going to get help from the referee, right? Don Garber, even though it's not an MLS Cup, right, still a competition. MLS teams are in. They're going to be making phone calls. They want Messi to win. Which
I think reffing in this competition is a whole nother topic that we can go into because it has not been good for anybody, I would say. There was a specific situation in that Nashville game against Monterrey where they score a goal where the player allegedly impeded in the view of the goalkeeper, which is something that's happened to RSL as well in the past. But then you have other games where that goal counted.
Right, when Messi scored it.
And essentially eliminated another team. And so it's interesting. The reffing of this competition is a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, it's been a little... It's weird, man. You got to think. So I was looking at comparisons, and MLS Cup winner gets the little star. You win your league, $300,000 payout. Leagues Cup is like a $5 to $8 million payout. It's insane, dude. It's just insanity. And so it just kind of makes you think, like, what if there could be corruption behind the officiating, dude? Like, we've seen some really weird calls, not only just in this goal, but I think later in the game there was like a penalty opportunity as well too. There's you got to just think, like, when there's cross leagues and bigger players in play, and I'm not talking about athletes, but just people backing this competition. Yeah, you want Inter Miami, to make it further into the competition, or you want to push a team. In this case, like how we were talking about Monterrey, you want to push teams a little bit further, right? You want to keep the attention spans of the leagues and the people who are following for Messi. I don't know. I know it's all conspiracy theory right now, but I think that Leagues Cup as a whole would have preferred a Messi versus a Liga MX team. Am I wrong to say that?
No, not at all.
I think a Messi Monterrey final would have been the most ideal situation out of the four finalists, because then you get a final in Miami if it's Monterrey.
Final in Miami. You've got the Liga MX, people invested, the fans, people who want to see that final versus Messi. Okay, right? Like the Mexican affiliations. Let's beat this Argentinian player. Like, who do they think they are? Right? There's so many aspects and so many things that they could have crossed off their checklist. And now, I'm sorry to say it, Nashville, it's a boring ass team, dude. Like,
it's not a thrilling final at all.
It's not, man. It's kind of a letdown. So,
but would you say that maybe Monterrey kind of got screwed over because they're the bigger threat to Miami? Back to your corruption.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, in the sense that we go back to the officiating, and I think Monterrey got gypped out of 2 PKs against Nashville.
Yeah, and the scoreline being so close 2-0. It's, yeah, I mean, you can certainly speculate, and it's fun, but yeah, it's just weird, man. But I will say this about Leagues Cup. It's been really entertaining. I tweeted about it yesterday. I like this format. I looked more into it. Leagues Cup, for the moment being, is only hosted in the US or Canada. That's what I at least read. So it looks like it's not set up to be hosted in Mexico, but I think to make things a little bit more fair in the future, let's rewrite that a little bit. How fun would it be to see MLS sides play away? I mean, I know that we get that in CONCACAF every now and then, right? Like, we don't get it often. But can you imagine if they were to do a switch up like that, and you're seeing, you're watching Real Salt Lake play Guadalajara Chivas and like the Omni Stadium. Like it'd be so cool, dude. So I would
Absolutely.
hope that it goes that way, just so that they could feel that it's a little fair. Because there was a lot of talk amongst Mexican fans, and then even Tata kind of pointing that out when people were complaining about the format, saying that, hey, when all the teams signed up for this Leagues Cup and they signed up to be participants, it was all already set. Like the tone was set that it was going to be played in the United States. They all entered at their own will. No one was held hostage. They all understood it. So can you really complain? But I mean, you saw some of the conditions, dude. Was it Leon that got stuck in the airport sleeping on the floor?
Yep.
So, I mean, things like that are going to happen. But I hope down the road, man, I would love to see some plays, or excuse me, some matches played over in Mexico, dude. That would be fantastic.
And maybe some draws for like the knockout phases. Because the second Miami was over on that side of the bracket with essentially no hard hitters, no good teams, it was obvious Messi was going to end up in the final.
Yeah,
It's rigged.
yeah.
Have you seen the conspiracies and heard the conspiracies?
Well, what are some that you've
Multiple,
heard?
yeah.
What are some that you guys have heard?
The one where MLS knew since the World Cup that Messi was coming to Miami, and so they set up this tournament in that format. The way the groups were set up, they did it on purpose to make sure that Messi was in this final, which could be true.
I mean, things are just going so well right now, right? Apple deal, Messi, Inter Miami, winning matches, the group play, I guess. I don't know what you'd want to call it. The other side, very easy pathway to the final. So yeah, maybe. Who knows, man? I don't know. It'll still be a fun final to watch, man. I am going to fully admit that I've been literally tuning in to every single Miami match. How do we think this one ends?
Oh, fairy tale ending. Miami's going to get it. Messi's first cup in North America. It's obvious, right? If Nashville wins, while I'll be happy, I'll be shocked.
Do you guys notice defenses not really pressing him too often, or just kind of ball watching a little bit? Is that because he's too good, or?
No, I honestly, I think the biggest reason people don't challenge him like they challenge other guys or play as tough is because you're either going to get a call against you or Messi's going to foul you and you're going to get the card for it anyway. So, it's a delicate balance when you're defending the best player because they have a safety net essentially with refereeing.
Well, I'm just saying, man, Inter Miami just beat one of the best defenses, quote unquote, in the league. That's enough Messi talk. If you guys are still here, let's talk about Real Salt Lake and RSL's next matchup. But first off, let's talk about the blow, the sacrifice that was made. Not even sacrifice. Well, I guess whatever. It's the price to pay for playing in the Leagues Cup. Pablo Ruiz out. Remainder of the season, torn meniscus, will not be returning. Who is going to fill that role in the sense of not only the position, but who can distribute the ball like Pablo Ruiz? Do we feel good about it? Are we really worried? Take it away.
I think at this point, all eyes turn to Nelson Palacio, right? The new signing from Colombia, essentially like for Pablo Ruiz, who hasn't really gotten as much minutes as I thought he would up to this point. And so all eyes are going to be on him because naturally he's the one who's going to fill into that position. He's the one who's going to slot in there next to Brian Ojeda in the midfield. And so I think all the attention now turns to Nelson Palacio. And we get a real chance to see him go possibly 90 minutes and see what he really brings to this team.
Well, hopefully we're also well rested and we've learned from the debacle that was LAFC. That's really all my hope. Like, find our rhythm again, find the Club Leon RSL and not replicate that LAFC performance, which was purely abysmal, like if we're going to be honest.
Horrible collapse.
I think to me, this game depends a lot on if Pablo decides to rotate heading into Wednesday. Are we going to get the quote-unquote B team? Are we going to get a full-strength RSL? I also think it's going to come down a lot to this new-look LA They signed a lot of really good players that could possibly make a difference for this LA Galaxy. Diego Fagundes, Michael Barrios, the center back from Schalke. A lot of new faces coming to this LA team that are supposed to make their debut against RSL. But they've just been so inconsistent. So it's going to be really interesting to see how they're integrating their new players into their team, and how LA comes out. Also, got to keep in mind that Martin Cáceres, their best center back, as well as Gaston Brugman, are out for the rest of the season. So they're no longer a part of that LA squad. So it's just really going to be integrating those new guys that just arrived.
Yeah, I think if we play the RSL way, we shouldn't have an issue, right? These are all guys we faced. They're nothing new. They're not from outside of the league for the most part. So I think we'll be fine. Should be fine.
I think it's going to come down just to squad mentality going in without a Pablo Ruiz. It was weird, man, because we were highlighting so many other players throughout this, this successful stretch of Real Salt Lake that it's almost like Pablo Ruiz was invisible in a way. However, when this happens, then you start to notice, you're like, shit, like this guy is actually, he was holding this together, right? He was feeding the assists. He was controlling the midfield. So I am a little worried. I'm a little nervous. And, LA Galaxy, I feel like they're starting to make moves, just like Alex said. I mean, they're being linked with Neymar at this point. Even it may not be the most credible, but you're starting to see this club shift or this mental shift of, okay, if Inter Miami can do it, so can we. Clearly, they're not going to have like this record-breaking signing before we meet them on Sunday, but I feel like the tides are kind of just shifting across the league with the possibilities and just trying to even out this playing field. But if I had to take a stab at a prediction, I think we were in good run of form leading up to LAFC. I don't know what happened there, man. It was just very frustrating. I don't even want to recap that 4-0 loss, but I think versus an LA Galaxy side, we should, and I hope we handle business. We need this win. We need something positive to happen for Real Salt Lake after that Leagues Cup exit.
Yeah, and we just need to continue our momentum, right? We need to kind of forget that happened. We need to just carry on and pick up where we left off, essentially. That's what we have to do, especially heading into an Open Cup semifinal against a decent Houston side, which could then lead to, the Miami game. So we need to build as much confidence as we can after that LAFC win starting Sunday.
I'd like to see a big win from Real Salt Lake over LA Galaxy just to get hot, get that confidence, and just scare Houston. But I'm not opposed to giving it all towards the Open Cup, because I think at this moment too, we're starting to see a shift into hardware mattering. And even though the Open Cup is just kind of like it's whatever, it's like the hardware is just attractive. Like I want to see Real Salt Lake just win something that semi matters, because the Rocky Mountain Cup doesn't do it for me.
Or at least get us into Champions League, right? Like get into the Open Cup final, which with the way things are shaping up, the second place team in the Open Cup final should be getting a spot this year. Yeah. So at the very least, let's get one more game and let's prepare for a fun competition this year.
Alex, what are your priorities, man, right now? Do you want to see Real Salt Lake come out heavy against Galaxy and just prioritize the league over Open Cup, or do you want them to rotate? What are you feeling?
No, I'm on the same boat as you guys. I think you need to be more prepared for the Open Cup semifinal. It's a semifinal, no matter which way you look at it. Points will come by later on in the year, right? We can make those up at home or whatever. But I think you need to prioritize the Open Cup, especially when you're 2 games away from a piece of silverware.
And playing Messi.
Exactly.
And Pablo Ruiz isn't playing, but if there's a final with Real Salt Lake and Inter Miami, I would hope that somebody grabs that kit for Ruiz. All right. So with that, we're going to wrap it up. Quick little brief Real Salt Lake session just to feed you guys' little RSL tummies. I'm talking to you guys listening on the radio. Catch us on all of the socials, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, no TikTok. We don't do any dances around here. But go follow us, be a part of the conversation, and we will see you. We'll do a new episode after the Galaxy result. Hopefully it's a good one. So we'll do one after the Galaxy, and we'll preview the Houston Open Cup semifinal. RSL show on KSL Sports. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. Be safe.